Can passive voice make your sentences unclear? Have you ever read a sentence and thought, wait, who is doing what here? This confusion often arises from the use of passive voice. Let's break down how passive voice can lead to unclear sentences and when it might be better to avoid it. Passive voice happens when the subject of a sentence receives the action instead of performing it. For instance, in the sentence, the ball was thrown by the boy, the ball is the subject that is receiving the action of being thrown. This is different from active voice, where the subject performs the action, like in the boy threw the ball. One major issue with passive voice is that it can obscure who is responsible for the action. When the doer is not mentioned upfront, readers may struggle to understand who is taking action. Take the sentence, many officials were bribed. It leaves us wondering who did the bribing. In contrast, Escobar bribed many officials makes it clear who the actor is. Another problem with passive constructions is that they tend to be longer and more complex. They often requiring a form of the verb to be plus a past participle, which can lead to wordy sentences. For example, the original purpose was forgotten by the patient is much less direct than the patient forgot the original purpose. That said, passive voice is not incorrect. It can be useful in certain situations. For example, if the actor is unknown or not important, passive voice can work well. Saying, the bank was robbed, is effective if we do not know who the robber is or if that detail is not essential to the message. Passive voice can also help shift focus in a sentence. It allows writers to emphasize the action or the recipient of the action rather than the doer. This can be particularly useful in formal writing, such as legal or academic contexts, where the focus may need to be on the action itself rather than who performed it. However, in practical writing, especially when clarity is key, it is often recommended to use active voice. Active voice tends to be clearer and more direct, making it easier for readers to understand the message. For instance, consider these examples. The jury foreman runs the deliberations is straightforward and clear. But in passive voice, it becomes the deliberations are run by the jury foreman, which is longer and less engaging. In summary, while passive voice can create unclear sentences by hiding the actor or making sentences wordy, it also serves specific functions in language. Writers should use it thoughtfully, balancing clarity with the intended focus of their message.